Hey, yo, what is going on? It's your boy X coming at y'all with a brand new video, and as you guys can see from the background, we are back with another tier list. So if you guys are excited, make sure you guys smash the like button down below. Comment once we get to the end, your favorite small forward that we have in the 2K21 right now, as well as what you guys think of the tier list. And make sure you guys subscribe if you guys are new. We are on that road to 10K subs, so it would be greatly appreciated if you guys could do that. Also, I will have the point guards and shooting guards tier list linked down below in the description for anybody that wants to check those out. So without further ado, let's start it off with our stinkers down in the D tier, and I'll show them all at once. We have Ben McLemore's Emerald, the Vince Carter Emerald, and LeBron James's Sapphire. I wanted to add these just because they were relatively new cards that we didn't have in the last tier list section. With Ben McLemore, I feel like he's cool as a shooting guard, but he's only 6'3", which is like it hurts, and really it's just meant to be a dunker, but doesn't have a lot of finishing badges. Can shoot the three ball a little bit, but doesn't have a lot of actual badges when it comes to shooting either. His jump shot's not bad, but he really just doesn't give you anything. I feel like that is all that worth it. Next up, we have Vince Carter, who again, it's just meant to kind of be a slasher to the basket, but doesn't have a lot of finishing badges, but he does have contact finisher, which is cool. He's got catch and shoot and steady shooter as his shooting badges, which is pretty tough. And has the Vince Carter jump shot, which isn't horrible, but I don't love it. And again, Vince Carter, he really just doesn't give me anything. And LeBron James's Sapphire is just kind of one of those cards that does everything well, or sorry, does everything okay, but doesn't really do anything exactly amazing. 6'9" at the small forward is cool, but he has 30, I think 8 badges, and 31 of them are bronze. Doesn't include any sort of clamps, which is, killer. He doesn't have any sort of catch and shoot. It's just not it, man. This LeBron can't play defense. He's kind of slow. He can't shoot the greatest. He can dunk, but no quick first step. It's just, it's not worth using this LeBron James card really at any point in here, other than when we had that limited section where you could use him, or you kind of had to use him. But other than that, really, there's just no point, man. There's no point to use any of these guys in D tier. Next up, we have our C tier, which starts off with the new Ruby token market card, Brent Barry. And Brent Barry is just one of those cards that every year I usually really like because he's a nice 3-and-D like budget option. 15 gold badges, most of them in shooting, has pogo stick. They love to give one defensive badge to players this year, and it's pogo stick, which doesn't help them at all, but it's interesting. And all of the badges that you can upgrade are in finishing, with post spin technician being the only one outside of finishing that you can upgrade if you wanted to. And dream shake, sorry, which is not worth it. You can't get clamps, so he's a good shooter with a 93 and some really solid shooting badges, really good hot zones, and a pretty decent release in jump shot 16. It's the Wally Zerbiak jump shot. He's basically just a reskinned Wally, but there's no reason to use a 3-and-D guy who can't play defense at this point. He's just a spot-up shooter, and there's so many other cards you could use at the small forward who do the exact same thing, just better. Next up, we have Ruby Tony Kukoc, a card that I've never really been on the train with. I know there was a real big time when people loved running with the power forward, but for me personally, it just never really felt right. Now, he's one of those guys that has the Brook Lopez base, which is great, and that's really the only reason I feel like people liked him, because his defense is horrid. He can't rebound well. His post game is pretty garbage, and his finishing is okay. He's also really, really slow. You can add a quick first step to him, but it'd be a waste of a badge at this point. But he's a good shooter. He's a good stretch big. If you're gonna run him at the power forward, not at the 3. But even then, he's such a defensive liability all around and slow that I just could not put him any higher. Tony Kukoc he's not a guy. He's not one you want to run. And same thing goes with this Josh Jackson, who is not horrible, but he doesn't give you anything on offense. Josh Jackson has a 93 defensive overall, but then has a 75 offensive overall. His defense all around is actually really solid, and he can speed boost with any form of coach boost that increases ball handle for 3 or above. Has really good speed as well. Has gold clamps, interceptor, pick dodger, like silver intimidator and silver pickpocket, which are insane, and an 85 driving dunk. But His shot 3 is a 65, has a 69 midi, a 64 shot close. So the only thing he can do is dunk and layup, and that is it. And you have to upgrade his finishing badges to even hit the layups and dunks. It's not worth using this Josh Jackson card really at all. But he does have jump shot 81, which is okay, but it ain't worth it, man. You don't want to use this Josh Jackson, I promise you. Next up, we have the Sapphire Jimmy Butler, who I kind of put on this list just because I felt like he was a little bit better than LeBron James. Jimmy is 6'7" with a 6'8" wingspan, which is nice. We do have the same thing. We have a lot of badges, but 19 of them are bronze. But this Jimmy does get silver clamps, which I think helps him a little bit. No catch and shoot is obviously a big deal. Has good perimeter defense, a decent 70 driving dunk. He's decent with his speed, decent with his playmaking. Good tendencies of an 80 contest shot, so we can actually play some pretty good defense. And a jump shot 22 is just such a wonderful jump shot that I feel like it really negates a lot of the negatives that some cards can have with bad shooting. So although he only has a 70 midi, it's money with the jump shot 22, and same thing with jump shot 73. So Jimmy was in C tier. Again, if you want to throw him D, I could get it, but I have him up into C. Next up, we have Amethyst Scotty Pippen. We're giving some hate to some Scotty Pippen cards right now. And the thing that I think really hurts the Scotty Pippen is he's a slightly better Josh Jackson. Now, I will say the one massive upgrade that this Scotty Pippen does have is you can badge up Hot Zone Hunter onto Scotty, which, I mean, that's a pretty massive boost that you could get to him. And when he gets any sort of like coach boost, his 3 does go up to a 70. So if you pair that with Hot Zone Hunter, and I know some people won't be confused on that, but Pip has every single hot zone on this card. So having Hot Zone Hunter really can help. But at this point in the year, do you really want to invest a 3-point shoe, a high coach 3-point boost, and a whole 3 Hot Zone Hunter badges just so that Scottie Pippen can hit some corner threes? Probably not. When it comes to defense, he is one of the best defenders in the game with an 89 perimeter defense, all around solid defense as well. He can speed boost with the right coach boost, and shoe, I think. Actually, no, he's just under being able to speed boost, so I apologize. And has gold clamps, gold pick dodger, interceptor, pogo stick, like some really, really, really good badges, but he's kind of slow. The jump shot isn't ideal, but it's pretty easy to time just because it's slower. So if you guys don't like slow jump shots, it's not going to be for you. But if you use the right stick, Scottie Pippen could be pretty money for you. But overall, he's just really not a card that I view as very worth using. And same thing goes with this Jamal Mashburn, who might be a card that some people might want to throw up into B tier, but I just didn't feel like he really, I don't know, he couldn't do it for me. I feel like with this Jamal Mashburn, he can be one of the best cards at the small forward position if you badge him out correctly, because you can add clamps to him, you can add quick first step, you can even give him range extender and Deadeye, Giant Slayer, some really, really good badges, and he's going to be sitting pretty nice. But he does have jump shot 1, which I know is a jump shot that not too many people actually like. I'm one of the few exceptions that actually likes it. So there's that. But I think in general, with Jamal and Mashburn, he's just not, again, he's just not a guy that I feel like you really want to run. I have him into C tier because it is very, very, very expensive to get this Jamal Mashburn to a state where he's actually like great and usable, because you got to add clamps to it, which is not a cheap badge. Then you have to add quick first step, again, not a cheap badge. Green Machine and range extender, which again are not cheap badges, just for Jamal Mashburn to actually be amazing, because other than that, he's kind of a massive defensive liability. But with those badges, I think he definitely is like an A tier card, but it's just so expensive. Like, you're gonna pick up Jamal Mashburn for like 15k and then spend 100k to badge him up. It's not worth all of that extra stress. Starting off in the B tier, we have the Amethyst Danny Granger, a card that actually kind of let me down a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. But Danny Granger, 6'9", which is cool, a 7'1" wingspan, and has one Hall of Fame badge, which is a volume shooter, which is actually pretty quality. But no playmaking badges whatsoever, but you can upgrade all of them besides post spin if you wanted to, and no dream shake either. So quick first step would make him money, but no defensive badges and really, really poor defensive stats. So really, no matter what you do, you're not going to get a good defensive Danny Granger at this point in the year. He has 4 finishing badges: Acrobat, Contact, Fancy, and Relentless, which are good, but that's nowhere near enough to compete with a lot of the higher up cards. But what saves him is he is 6'9". He has really good speed, an 84 shot mid and 3-point, an 80 driving dunk, almost has the ability to speed boost. I think if you have a Nick Nurse coach boost, you can get his ball handle up to an 83, and then if you add any sort of shoe, you can get up to an 86 and get a speed boosting Danny Granger. But in saying that, he doesn't have the most amazing dribble moves. His behind the back, decent. Moving cross, decent. Like, everything's just decent. And jump shot 29 is the Andre Karolinko, Zion Williamson jump shot, which is solid, really nice, and honestly not too bad. And I feel like that's what saves him, but overall, not too worth it. Next up, we have Ruby Bruce Bowen, who's probably my favorite budget card in the entire game at this point in the year, because Bruce Bowen is 6'7", which is great, with a 6'10" wingspan, and I like running him at the 2, but at the small forward, I think he is solidly a B tier player. And the reason I love this Bruce Bowen: 96 perimeter defense, 96 lateral quickness, gold clamps, gold pick dodger, gold pickpocket, gold intimidator. And then has a 88 shot 3, the Nick Batum base, gold catch and shoot, gold corner specialist, and gold hot zone hunter. That's all I need. Has a good speed. His tendencies are very average across the board, like we're in the 70s, which is fine with me. And again, his jump shot 40 is money. It's easy to time. I call it the Nick Batum jump shot, but other cards that you might know that have it: Duncan Robinson, Rip Hamilton, Boris Diaw, Derek Fisher, Gary Payton, Darrell Griffith. Really solid jump shot, really prevalent jump shot. And you can even make Bruce Bowen even better by upgrading his finishing badges if you wanted to, giving him Contact Finisher, Giant Slayer, Pro Touch, and then he's actually a demon. But I think for his purposes of 3&D, you really don't need to do that. And then, if you wanted to even increase his overpoweredness a little bit more, you could give him a coach boost with Robert Horry, and that actually gives him a 94 shot 3, an 80 free throw, a 99 perimeter defense, and an 80 driving layup, which is solid. Robert Horry obviously is not the greatest of cards, but it gives you 2 really good 3-point shooters. That wasn't into the ranking, but I wanted to shout out the fact that his duo is actually pretty good with the boost that it gives to Bruce Bowen, just for anybody that wanted to try it out. Next up, we have Ruby Steven Jackson, who is a card that, if you batch him out correctly, can be an A tier card, for sure. But the expense that you have to go through to make Steven Jackson that A tier card is quite a bit. Now, Steven Jackson has some really, really good shooting badges, 3 solid finishing badges, but I wish he had a little bit more. And overall, he's a really nice guard. 85 driving layup, has an 84 shot mid and 84 shot 3, really solid speed. Has the Rudy Gay jump shot base, which, as we found out, is insane, because my dropped the gameplay on him and it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now, with Steven Jackson, if you give him, again, the Nick Nurse coach boost and a shoe that allows him to get that +3 in ball handle, he can get to an 86 in speed boost, which is nice. Plus, that'll make his 3-point shot at least an 89. If you boost a shoe to it, now it's above a 90. But you can actually add clamps, which he doesn't have, to Steven Jackson to really boost it up. You can add quick first step to him, and you can add range extender as well. So 3 badges that would make him basically a demon. But you're going to need to add contact finisher as well to kind of up his finishing badges, and I think that's just slightly outside of it. Now, if you do give him range extender, quick first step, and clamps, the Steven Jackson's going to be insane. But the same thing we talked about with Jamal Mashburn, they're just so expensive to get him up into that upper echelon that I did have to knock him down for that. Next up, we have Diamond Lamar Odom, who always one of my favorite cards in the entire game, but oh man, did they kill the LaMarcus Aldridge and base 11 jump shot. It is horrible. Now, the thing that I think saves Lamar Odom is the fact that he's 6'10" with a 6'11" wingspan. If you know the jump shot, you can get it good. He has good post game. He has good finishing. He has solid all-around defense despite not having clamps, and a good dunking ability. Lamar Odom just kind of reminds me of like that jack of all trades, master of none kind of card. And when I used him purely as a slasher and threatened the 3-point shot, I was really able to do a lot of work with him in triple threat online. But I think for the most part, it's really not worth it. Next up, we have Ruby Evan Turner, who I think is amazing as a shooting guard, but is okay as a small forward if you badge him out correctly. 17 gold badges, which are really, really solid. And again, he just kind of has this sense where you could really make him crazy by adding, clamps and a quick first step to him. You can add corner specialist, deadeye, deep fades, and difficult shots to him as well to really boost it up. But he doesn't have catch and shoot. And I think the great thing just about Evan Turner is that he's a great playmaking kind of small forward with a good midi, a capable three-point shot, and hot zone hunter. So in the left corner, he's actually money. Good speed, decent defense, especially if you badge him out. And he has jump shot 22, just a beautiful, wonderful jump shot that just helps out everybody. And I just feel like he's, again, just nice, solidly into that middle tier. Next up, we have the Diamond Lou Hudson, who I'm actually a huge fan of. Huge fan of. I love this Lou Hudson card. He's most of the time somewhere in my starting lineup, but usually at the shooting guard. Now, that's kind of why I ranked him down. If you give this Lou Hudson the clamps that he needs, it's over. Because he has 4 Hall of Fame badges, which are Green Machine, Hot Zone Hunter, Volume Shooter, and Tireless Shooter, and then has Gold Catch and Shoot and Difficult Shots. It is over. He also has Jump Shot 22, the jump shot that I keep raving about, an 83 driving dunk, solid defense with that clamps. He can speed boost, solid speed, an 88 shot 3, and a 94 mid-range. But he's only 6'5", so as a small forward, he's definitely not it. But if you run him as a shooting guard, it is over, and he is insane. Plus, with like any sort of boost that gives him 2 to his three-point shot, now you have above a 90 and get into that best three-point shooting, best green window bracket, and it's over. Lou Hudson is just an absolute demon, but you do need to add clamps to him. He already comes with quick first step, already has amazing finishing badges, so really the only thing he needs is that clamps, and then he's over. Next up in the B tier, we have Ruby Reggie Williams, another card off the Ruby token market that I know a lot of people sleep on. And that's because he's a Ruby token market card. But he's 6'7", 6'9" wingspan, has silver clamps, silver quick first step, gold catch and shoot, silver corner specialist. He has hot zone and difficult shots, but he doesn't have any hot zones, so it's a little bit tough. Has an 80 shot 3, 78 shot mid, 85 driving dunk, 84 in the perimeter defense, okay speed, some pretty decent defensive tendencies, and then has the Brook Lopez base. Other cards that have it: Sam Perkins, Kristaps Porzingis, obviously Tony Kukoc, obviously Brook Lopez because it's his base, Josh Smith, Elgin Baylor. It's money. It's probably my favorite jump shot in the game at this point that's not Curry or Klay Thompson. So he's absolutely insane. But obviously the lack of hot zones does hurt him, which is why I didn't put him up into A tier. If he had a few more gold badges and good hot zones, Reggie Williams would be insane. And last but not least, for our B tier, we have Ruby Paul Pressey, who is a card that I shouted out, and I realized some of y'all really didn't know how good Paul Pressey was in the previous tier list video where we shouted him out. But he has 20 gold badges, including Quick First Step, Clamps, Pick Dodger, Needle Threader, Acrobat, Contact Finisher, and Pro Touch. You can add Hot Zone Hunter and Green Machine to him, but he only has 2 hot zones, and they're not very great ones. Has insane defense, a 90 perimeter, 90 lateral quickness, and an 88 steal. He can speed boost if you badge him, or give him a shoe and all that wonderful stuff. Not really too necessary, but you could do it. And has jump shot 22, the beautiful, wonderful jump shot that's given to everybody, and he's just a great overall card. But his shooting is a little bit lackluster, to say the best. So I had to throw him into the B tier despite really loving this card and thinking he's low-key a demon. If we get like a diamond or something like that, Paul Pressey, watch out, because he will be a top tier, sleeper pick. Starting off the A tier, we have Diamond Paul George. I've talked great about this PG all the time. And he's just great, man. Paul George is just one of those cards that I feel like always is near the top of the list. 6'9", 6'11" wingspan, has just solid badges all around, including gold clamps, which is just great. Silver quick first step. We have some solid finishing badges, some solid shooting badges, a 90 driving dunk, really good defensive stats, really good speed. We can speed boost off rip with no help. 83 shot 3, really good tendencies up to standards at this point. They're not actually that great, but most people don't have the greatest of tendencies. A great moving on the back in Pro 5 to help you speed boost down the court. And Paul George's jump shot is just gorgeous. Like, it's money. Also, it does have a boost, because I like to tell you guys about the dynamic duos that they do have in the game. Has one with Danny Granger, which gives him a 95 driving dunk, an 89 ball handle, 92 perimeter defense, and an 87 shot 3, which is really good. It gives some decent boosts to Danny Granger as well, but, it's not exactly too worth it. But Paul George is definitely an absolute demon, and it's just 3-and-D ability that he always brings to the game is gorgeous, and you gotta love it. Next up, a card that really surprised me, and I haven't seen anybody really talking about it. It's Amethyst Mike Dunleavy. Now, I was sleeping, okay? I didn't really look at this Mike Dunleavy card. I mean, because it's Mike Dunleavy. When have y'all ever heard of him being a top card in 2K? Like, huh? But Mike Dunleavy is 6'9" with a 6'9" wingspan. It can play the 3 and the 2, which is insane. Has one Hall of Fame badge, which is half corner specialist, which is like, okay, I see you. And has catch and shoot, green machine, hot zone hunter, volume shooter, and bronze range extender, which can be upgraded. You can add Deadeye, you can add difficult shots if you want to, which is insane. Also has the ability to add clamps and add a quick first step. I know this is expensive, but the fact that he already came with a range extender kind of boosted him up a little bit for me, and I think adding quick first step and clamps onto this Mike Dunleavy card actually makes him such a demon that it's low-key worth it being 6'9" and playing the 2. Even has a 75 driving dunk, which is insane. And then if you have the Nick Nurse coach boost, as well as we'll say like the Don Issue 1 shoes, just so he gets a better speed with ball and ball handle. He's an 86 ball handle, so now he can speed boost, a 95 shot 3 and a 94 shot mid. The tendencies aren't too great, but he has jump shot 4, which is George Mikan, Latrell Sprewell, Richie Guerin jump shot, which is beautiful. And I mean, you gotta love it. Now, his dribbling moves definitely aren't too great, so although we can speed boost, it's not like it's the most amazing thing in the world, but it's definitely something you can do now. And now you have a 6'9" small forward shooting guard with a 95 shot 3, range extender, at least on bronze, clamps, and quick first step. It's over. Mike Dunleavy is a demon. Next up, we have the Diamond LeBron James card, who has one negative in his game, and y'all know what it is. No quick first step. And that's the only negative that this LeBron has in his game. He's one of the best slashers in the entire game. He's super quick, really solid defense, has silver clamps, can speed boost if you badge or boost him up correctly with a coach and shoe and all that wonderful stuff. Has a really, really solid jump shot, a 90 contest shot tendency. And what I mean by the really solid jump shot is LeBron James, if you actually get his 3 to a 93-point rating, not to make people notice, LeBron James actually, his jump shot in the 93-point rating has the biggest green window so far tested of like 59 milliseconds. So LeBron is easy as hell to green with once you badge him up correctly. So do that, and it's over for LeBron. But no quick first step kills him, and I cannot put a card into S tier that doesn't have quick first step or can't get it. So there was no way I could put him any higher despite his jump shot being absolutely money. Next up, we have Amethyst Larry Kenen, one of my controversial picks of the video. And that's just because Larry Kenen doesn't have shooting ability, and this card, along with his entire Next Is Now Dunker set, was absolutely dogged on. But oh my god, have I been doing work specifically in Limited with this Larry Kenen as my power forward. He's just insane. Now, with Larry Kenen, you get one Hall of Fame badge, which is Showtime, but it's like, whatever. But then we have silver quick first step and silver clamps already on it, which is goated. Now, he does have some insane, badges that you could add to him. You could give this Larry Kenen all of the above. Deadeye, difficult shots, flexible release, hot zone hunter, range extender, if you wanted to. And low-key, it wouldn't be too bad. Larry Kenen has jump shot 4, like we talked about. Has a 69 shot 3, which is definitely tough, but an 85 mid-range, and he is a mid-range demon. Some of the best all-around defense I've felt on a card, as well as really good rebounding. He can speed boost with any kind of +2 to his ball handle, so even a floor general, and you're good. And then has a 95 driving dunk, and I swear to God, this Larry Kenen has dropped the most vicious dunks I've ever seen in a 2K game. It is unreal. Now, if you do badge up him with, again, we'll just go with Nick Nurse, because Nick Nurse is just like that guy. If you do it with that, we'll give him like the Superstars, Adidas, and Nick Nurse coach boost. Now you have a 77 shot 3 with Larry Kenen, which is really solid. You won't be able to use your Hot Zone Hunter in the corner, but if you added a range extender to him, he's going to be a demon. Don't really recommend it, but you could do it. But a 77 shot 3 in the corner off catch is definitely a pretty decent shot to take with him. And if you have a floor general boost on Hall of Fame, now Larry has a 81 shot 3, and I think a lot of you guys can actually shoot pretty well with him from the corner with an 81 shot 3. So He's a demon. I love him, and I really think that he's worthy of that A tier. Next up, we have Diamond Kevin Durant. I mean, I really don't feel like I need to explain KD too much. I mean, y'all know it. 6'9", 7'4" wingspan, 2 Hall of Fame badges, which are beautiful. He has quick first step, bronze clamps, bronze range, etc. Everything wonderful. He can shoot like crazy. Kevin Durant's animations are great. He's got a dynamic duo now with Andre Iguodala, which gives him a 95 driving dunk, a 90 shot 3, and a 90 mid-range. He's a demon. He's wonderful. He's beautiful. I mean, you already know. It's Kevin Durant. And next up, we have Diamond Darius Miles, who's always just one of those guys that I love, man. I love Darius Miles. Now, Darius has 2 Hall of Fame badges in Fast Break Finisher and Showtime, a lot of really good finishing badges, and some good defensive badges. But you're going to need to add clamps and quick first step to him to really, like, kill it with my guy. But has a 90 standing dunk, 93 driving dunk, along with the gold quick first step you're going to add to him, and it's over with his good speed. To me, he kind of reminds me of a worse Giannis, but with a better jump shot because he has the Brook Lopez base. Darius Miles, you're just going to slash to the basket like crazy and get everything just done. Like, you're going to catch the ball, run to the paint, and getting a dunk on everybody's head with no doubt. Love Darius Miles. And last but not least, for our A tier, we have Chuck Person, one of the new cards that did drop from the TT offline rewards. I'm pretty sure he is a triple threat on. Is it triple threat offline? One of the two. He's in triple threat, and he has 3 Hall of Fame badges: corner specialist, hot zone hunter, and slippery off ball. Like, okay, Chuck, I see you. You can add clamps to my guy and some defensive badges to really make him crazy. Some decent speed, some decent dunking at 70 standing, 75 driving, some good defense, and an 89 shot 3. So no matter what you do, my guy's gonna have a 90 shot 3. So he's gonna be able to kill it. His tendencies are actually pretty god awful, but he has jump shot 30, which is the same as like Scotty or Byron Russell, which, like I said, with like square, it's okay and pretty decently greens. But if you guys use the shot stick with jump shot 30, Chuck Person is an absolute demon. As I found out using Byron Russell for a while, because the jump shot is slightly slower, so it really allows you to time it really well. I love it, and I think Chuck Person is a pretty great card. And now for our S tier, the demons, the top cards, obviously in 2K21 at this point. We have Paul Pierce. Again, I don't really need too much explaining. He's got gold clamps, he's got gold range center, and everything wonderful that you would need. Still one of the best small forwards in the game. Latrell Sprewell, who, even though he isn't the greatest of small forwards, I still feel like how great he is, period. It's over. 5 Hall of Fame badges, Hudson, Hunter, Green Machine, Contact Finisher, and Slithery. Like, come on. Gold clamps. He has silver quick first step already. You can add range extender to him. He's got jump shot 4, some great dribbling moves, and then it's just over. Then we have Dr. J. You knew he was going to be up there. Julius Erving. I mean, like, there's really nothing you can say. 6'6", 6'11" wingspan, 7 Hall of Fame badges, all in finishing, has gold clamps, intimidator, pick dodger. You can add quick first step to my mans, give him range extender, and 90 perimeter defense, 95 driving dunk, the Rudy Gay base, and 94 speed. Okay, my guy, demon. Next up, James Worthy, who I was sleeping on for a while, but now I see why he's so damn expensive. Because he's 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan, has 7 Hall of Fame badges, post-big technician, contact, pro touch, Slithery, some of the best ones in the game. We got Hot Zone Hunter and silver catch and shoot. You can add range extender, you can add quick first step, and he comes with bronze clamps, which can be upgraded. Insane defense, 90 standing dunk, 95 driving dunk, and 82 shot 3, 90 mid-range, amazing speed, awesome post-game, all in the 90s, and jump shot 22. Okay, I see you. Plus a dynamic duo with Magic Johnson, which boosts him up a little bit. Not too necessary, but it's cool and it's fun. Giannis Antetokounmpo, I don't need to explain it. It's Giannis. You can run down to the paint and do whatever the hell you want with this Giannis card, and it is over. And last but not least, into our S tier, we have Dominique Wilkins. Dominique Wilkins is one of those cards that some people I know don't like, but with Dominique Wilkins, you can get him up to gold clamps, which is great. You can give him gold quick first step and gold range extender on top of being one of the best slashes in the entire game and having a really nice jump shot that I personally think is pretty money. So that ends it off for our tier list of the small forwards in 2K21. Let me know what you guys think about these down in the comment section below. Or anything that I missed, anything you guys think I got beautifully, perfectly right. If you guys liked the video, again, like it, subscribe if you guys are new, on over to 10K. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see y'all in the next video.